Welcome to Demo Day, where young innovators take the stage and showcase real-world projects to a global audience. At WEquil School, students learn to become innovators, teaching each other each week through their creations. WEquil App has thousands of novel and useful projects born out of our students' strengths, interests, and passions. But Demo Day is more than just a presentation. It's a celebration of innovation, collaboration, and the power of young minds. Join us on this incredible journey of inspiration as we witness the next generation of problem solvers and leaders. From Harvard professors to industry experts, our demo days attract incredible guest speakers who share their knowledge and ignite curiosity. Whether you're a young innovator looking to showcase your creations or a family seeking an extraordinary learning experience, Demo Day is here for you. Together, let's create a world where young minds flourish, ideas come to life, and innovation knows no boundaries. Join us for an unforgettable journey of learning, growth, and discovery. Welcome to Demo Day. So this is a video. I presented this project a few weeks back. I read the book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and I summarized it in two parts, one building wealth and happiness. So I also made a video summarizing this specific section on leverage, but I just released a second video summarizing the second section on decision making. So yeah, this is the video. Here are some more of my takeaways from the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. First, working on the right thing is more important than working hard. While this is true, you should work hard anyways. Second, make important decisions that will impact you in the long term very carefully, such as who to marry, what job to pick, and which city to live in. Third, build a strong foundation of beliefs and principles because this will influence everything you do and everything new that you learn. Many of us inherit a value system from our upbringing, which is why you should be critical of your strong beliefs. Suffering is a window into the truth because it means something is challenging your core beliefs or identity. Lastly is to develop mental models for decision making. I would highly recommend checking out the list from Charlie Munger. Stay tuned for more takeaways and check out my full article in the description. Naval is a highly regarded entrepreneur, investor, and intellectual with many takeaways on how to be successful and live a happy and fulfilling life. So here are some more of my So that's my video summary.
Round of applause.
Wait, we're gonna be sharing the Mother's Day video, right?
Oh, and
Please.
you ended it on so, and then it looped back.
Yeah. So here are some more. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if I should share the Mother's Day this week
Right
because
now.
it's
There's
we're already going over
shortchange this one. This is really
Yeah.
good stuff. Like
Share
there's a
the
lot
Mother's
to
Day
unpack in that
video.
project. Anybody? Colin, what are your views, Colin, on Naval Ravikant? Have you delved into any of his writings or thoughts?
I don't have any views. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I've seen lots of different people with lots of different opinions, and there's a balance across everybody. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I introduced Naval to Sumay like 5-6 years ago.
I forgot
and it was one of the things I really liked about his tweets. He wrote a tweet thread.
Oh yeah.
You want to mention?
So he wrote a tweet thread. It's still pinned to his profile called "How to Get Rich Without Getting Lucky." Basically, the book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, was not actually written by Naval, but compiled from all of his works. The first section on building wealth is actually largely based off of that tweet thread, but it's really good. And actually, just like he literally just stuck it in the book because that's how that went viral. He's widely recognized for that tweet thread, but it has a lot of really good insights and yeah. So that was a lot of those same things I also included in my article summarizing the book, but yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're putting it in the WEquil community.
Yeah, that's fine. So if you want to talk a little bit about specific knowledge.
Sure. Oh yeah, that's one other term. So Naval coined the term specific knowledge, which is essentially something that can be learned but not taught, and is learned through all experiences and circumstances unique to you, such as conversations you've had, people that you've met, how you grew up, you know, just experiences that you've had in general.
Projects.
Yeah, projects that you've written, things that you've learned, struggles that you've gone through. And through all of that is something that is specific to you, that if you leverage to add value to others, you can become irreplaceable. So that's kind of the whole concept of it, is how you can become irreplaceable. And if you can leverage that to add value to the world, and especially if you can monetize it, then that's really the ideal case scenario. That's also a lot of what we're trying to do with kind of the digital resume and like showcasing how are you unique. So yeah, especially with like machine learning algorithms and things, that if you're just like everybody else, you can easily be replaced, and that's not a position you want to be in.
Yeah, there's a lot of that whole tweet thread, but that concept in particular has had a really big influence on the way that we're approaching learning, the concept of the project, learning by doing, like the equilibrium concept, being able to have these projects that really are a reflection of one's unique strengths and interests, but that can be valuable to other people. You could think of WEquil School or this process as being a process for building the specific knowledge that he talks about in that tweet thread. So I definitely recommend taking a read at that if you haven't read that, but I'm gonna have to watch that video like 8 more times. It's like a lot.
Sumay, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Um, it seems like you read a lot of you've talked about Charlie Munger and Naval, and I guess others that I would categorize as either business or entrepreneurial kind of, I guess, borderline gurus because of their success and so forth. How do you determine who to check out? Like, is it, are you being someone's saying, hey, this is something to check out, or if that's happening, if that's the case, and or how are you kind of discovering them without any of that kind of
Mm.
influence, discovering and determining that this is someone to even check out, like your
Right.
criteria kind of.
Yeah, well, a lot of people I have been introduced to by my dad, but I think a lot of it is like every morning while I'm just like cleaning up and stuff and like getting ready for the day, I always listen to some sort of podcast or audiobook. I especially like Joe Rogan and Lex Friedman because they basically just like interview anybody from all different backgrounds. And so I can really get an insight into like what they know, who they are, what they think about. And so I get introduced to a lot of different people from there. And so yeah, especially because we're in the ed tech kind of like entrepreneurship space, then I am also like interested in just kind of like seeing, lately I've been listening to Lex Friedman's interview of the guy who founded Wikipedia, just kind of like thinking about like all these things that we know, we use all the time, how they were actually created and the minds behind that. So I've been kind of like learning about all these different types of people. And so that's a big way that I get introduced to kind of all that stuff as well. But
I just put a link to a video. We only did one of these because then the Global School podcast, we started doing that, and so that kind of took over. But we were gonna do like the 4th iteration of our family podcast and called it Wake Up Call, and it's a super cool logo, and like I don't know.
We made a whole brand and we made one episode, but the episode's really good.
It's really good, and like we spent a lot of time like editing that down to like some key points, but like basically it's like a typical morning conversation. And just really like we didn't hold anything back, like we're just acting like we normally do, which is frankly that's just all we do. But a lot of it was Sumay talking about, I just asked her like, what does she want to talk about, and she was just talking about all these new podcasts and people and books that she had been learning about, and that's in that video. So that's like her process, is that she'll find the people that are really good at finding people, and then she works it into her day so she can get exposure to these different ideas. And then if she finds a book that or some other podcast that she really wants to dive into from that, then she'll do that. But we're like talking through. And then I switched from telling Sumay about people. Now she tells me because she's the one who's like more diligent about finding all these new cool resources. But yeah, there's just brilliant minds everywhere, and they're actually putting their ideas out into the world now.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly powerful. That was impossible to do 20 years ago. Like if you wanted to get access to the greatest minds, like I know Colin's like a lot smarter than me and knows way more about software. Like how would I find him? You know, like I would have to like go work for him and then like work my way up the ladder for like a decade probably. You know, and maybe he would talk to me, right? But it's like that's the way that you had to do it. You had to go through these hoops. You had to jump through these hoops. You know, you had to go to the great universities where the great professors were and then get in their class and then wait until after class and you can talk to them. Now that's like these brilliant minds are like on Twitter, or they wrote a audio, or they have like an audio book or a podcast. They're just sharing, like Lex Friedman, like, oh my goodness, you know, he's brilliant, right? So finding these people, I think at some point you get in your progression, young people, talking to you now, is like at some point as you start to, well, you're going to learn a lot of things and you should never stop learning about all these other like biology, physics, yada, yada, yada. But to really get to the forefront of ideas, find the people that are at the forefront of their fields and listen to them and listen to what they're thinking about, you know, because that's the forefront of learning. And that's
more
kind of
like
where,
just learning how to learn because things are just changing so fast.
yeah.
But, it's also we're going over time here, so
Yeah,
we should probably.
that's fine. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
This is like my favorite.
Yeah,
time
that's
of
what
the
I
week.
was just
Yeah.
about to private message Daddy's just.
Oh, but come
What
on.
time I'm getting.
This feels like going. This is like the closest thing I have to church.
Yeah, but I'm getting hungry.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This was awesome. Wow. I'm just every single time that we do this demo day, I'm just absolutely floored and excited to see what we're gonna do next week. And every one of you kids should just be so proud of yourselves. Just don't stop. Just don't stop. You know, and by don't stop, I mean don't stop believing in yourselves, following your passions, your strengths. You know, make sure you relax and revitalize. Drink lots of water. You know, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yes, Athava, I am perfectly fine.
Bye.
All right.
God,
Bye.
Bye-bye.